Evening on a Christmas Eve to everybody. It's it's Brian. First of all, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Christmas tomorrow, all of my subscribers, the people that have bought my book, and the friends I've made on the groups and everything. Anyway, happy Christmas, everyone. I hope you have all a good time. Now, I've come on here to talk about the firearms, okay, and a bit about my friend Jack Bowler. But before I start, I'm going to talk about a podcast that I see tonight. Well, someone texted me a message, so I watched it. And it was John and Carlton on it. Now, I've heard it's been taken down or going to be removed because the amount of language they give about Bernard, which I can understand. I mean, Carlton, you're an hypocrite to say what you've got to say, but then, John, I have a lot of respect for you, for the years you've done all you can to fight for your brother's corner, to prove he's innocent. Now, I believe they're innocent. Deep down, I believe they're innocent. And, I've always believed that. But it goes a lot higher than what we all think who actually done it. It was a professional hit. But the point is, you've got to ask yourself this. Who authorised the hit? I don't think there's a rival gang. I think deep down the police are involved in a certain way, but I just can't put my finger on it at the minute. But it's going to come out no matter what. It's going to come out that cupboard. It's going to bite us all on the arse, end of the day, the truth. But at the minute, you're not going to get the truth, are we? Because you've got Bernard out there saying his way and only his way. We know Bernard was no former partner. We know they hated Bernard. We know they used him. We know Bernard was good friends with Murray. Okay? We know that. But what got me tonight, this podcast, is how Carlton could sit there and listen to what John was saying. Now, all Carlton's podcasts, he's always said Mick was in the back and Jack had the guns. You hear me? He's always said that. Yeah, tonight he comes on here and he's saying he believes they're innocent and that lot, after putting them down all those fucking years he has been making himself make out the big boy. But then you got John in here. The video was really about putting Bernard down, which that's up to them. There's no word to describe what Bernard is. That's simple as that. But John's sitting there saying that Carlton was mentioned many a times at court, his name. John, you're fucking lying. Why? I've lost credibility for you, mate. All right, to a certain extent. You didn't like Carlton. You've even put on podcasts you didn't like Carlton. Now you're his mate and you're lying for him because his name was never, ever mentioned at court, not once. All right. Now, I didn't go to the court case. I'm not going to lie and say I was there because I wasn't. But I spoke to some people tonight that was there every single day of the trial. And I spoke to someone very high up, that was there as well. And they've clarified to me that Carlton's name was never mentioned at court. So, John, you've got all the paperwork. Prove to me where Carlton's name's mentioned on the paperwork, because you can't. So stop making out that Carlton's your best fucking buddy and Bernard's still the arsehole he is. We know that. What went on between you and Bernard is between you and Bernard. All right? Your concern is to fight your brother's corner. But we're never going to get the truth, who did it and why they did it, when everyone's lying. All right? But Carlton, you sat there and you didn't turn around and say, out of honesty and respect for your so-called fucking brother, you call him, hold on, John, my name wasn't mentioned at court, mate. No, you sat there and lapped it up, and your concern was effing and blinding about Bernard. You're so concerned about Bernard. You'd make a nice couple, you're both a pair of fat fuckers. It's like you say, what was it? I was number one suspect. You was never pulled in. I asked you this question time after time after time, Carlton. You was never pulled in, and you know that. So stop lying and stop taking in that you was on the paperwork. I know you didn't agree to it, but you didn't turn around and say, John, hold on, mate. I was nowhere, not mentioned the paperwork. So, John, I've lost credibility for you, mate. I've done the letter for Mick. All right, it's gone. It's gone to some people, and I'm hoping that my letter can help the lad get parole. All right, he's old now. He's got dementia. Let him get out. He's done his time. I know they're innocent, and I know it's going to come out. Sometimes you've got to be careful what you say, because there's people higher and higher. You could say something that you know's right and what happened, and before you know it, you're gone. You either gone to a police station and a false charge put against you, or you disappear. We know that. We know there's some dangerous people out there. But the job was a professional hit, and I still believe deep down the police had their 60% involvement in it. So that's my question tonight, all right? But I am annoyed on the podcast, and I'm annoyed with you, John. If you want to do all this calling each other, let's all sit round a table or all get on one podcast, someone big, and discuss it. Let's all be men, all right, instead of sitting there slagging each other off. I know I do. I slag them off. But I slag them off because I'm annoyed. I'm a burn of these little silly fucking threats. I got this on you, I got that. I'm going to tell people, tell them what you want. Because everything I've done in Basildon, the years I've been there, I've been arrested for. And it's on record. It's on police record, Bernard. So that's that. But the only way we're going to get to the truth is we all sit down and discuss it. All right? As men, as adults, let's do it for the groups. Not for each other. Not because I don't like Bernard. Bernard don't like me. Carlton don't like Bernard. Bernard don't like Carlton. Now you're dragging Terry Stone into it. I don't care. Go on Terry Stone's podcast. We're all adults. We'll all sit there and discuss it. Or if not, we'll try, like I say, try and get him hold of Sky and see if Sky will hold a debate. I think it'd be fantastic. Then we can have the paperwork there in black and white, and we can see, Carlton, you was never pulled in. It's in black and white here, mate. Carlton, your name was never mentioned at the police station. It's in black and white here. Bernard, my mate Bernard. Is this true? This police officer, you're very close with him. What does this mean, Bernard? Why have you walked away from so many offences, Bernard? Why do you keep getting off with things? Oh, fucking hell. Brian, you say you did this, but I've got to hear you didn't do it. Oh, hold on, no, I'm wrong. You did do it. Sorry, Brian. I think you're the only one telling the truth, Brian. See, I don't come here and make out I'm a gangster. I don't come in here and make out that I'm a hard nut. I don't come here and make out that I was partners with the fucking three of them. Because I wasn't. I was the idiot. At first, it was just me and Craig. I was happy with that. Then it went beyond to the bigger boys. Then I didn't get happy. Because every time something went wrong, it was this little fucking idiot here that got a slap for it more or less of the time. Or got drugged to try and be killed. You know what I mean? Let's get the truth. Let's get the truth back. Kevin Whitaker. How he died, where he died, who's involved. Hey, Donna, come on. You know more what you do, Donna. Let's get this in. Let's get this out. Let's get the truth out. Not, they were driving down the road and Tony said, I'm going to inject you. Take my fucking drugs. Less of the lies. Get off your fucking computer, Bernard. And Carlton. Do me a favour. All right? I don't care how much money you make. How many stories you tell. Sometimes you sell more books telling the truth than you do lying. We know that. So like I say again, Carlton, come forward, tell the truth and say, look, Brian's right. I wasn't pulled in. I lied. Brian's right. I wasn't on any court papers. I lied. Brian's right. Me and Tony did fall out. Brian's right. I lied about Craig, making him out to be the gopher, making out that I threatened him. And best of all, told the truth. Anyway, look, I could go on all night, but that video, that podcast has annoyed me. Like I say, John, I don't know you. I'm sticking my neck out here, big time, to help. I'm not here to con you. I'm not here to fake videos, fake voices. That's not my game. My game is to say what I know and what I believe. So that is why I've written a letter for Mickey. All right, and I think it's a good letter. And I've put myself on the line by writing it. All right, the corruption in the police force, which I'm willing to speak about. I put my neck on the line because I know they're innocent. So anyway, right, we'll get to the firearms. Now, I got transferred to Strange Ways Prison, which I said in one of my videos, for a motoring offence in Manchester that I had to answer the charge for. And there people come up with silly pranks where you got moved out through the grass. Like I say in the day, if you commit an offence in another area, you have to go to the area and answer to it. They don't just transfer it to where you are. You know, it's very rare if they do. So I went to Manchester. I was on the last bit of my sentence. I met Delroy in there. He was on the top landing, okay. And then people was in Strange Way can clarify this. A nice, stocky built lad. At night time, when we was all locked up, Delroy won. He had to walk the landing. He had a couple of screws in the palm of his hand, so he got away with a lot. He wasn't a bully. He wasn't big-headed. He kept himself to himself most of the time. But me, I get on with everyone. With me, I don't go in prison and make out I'm hard. I don't go in prison and cause trouble. I go in there if I get sent down, and I'll have a laugh and joke with people, and I'll sit and have a discussion. You with me? So I made friends with Delroy. I think I was doing about 3 months left of my sentence when I was in there. Now, he could get stuff in. So if I didn't want drugs brought in, it's money that I needed. So the visiting area was very, very tight. It was very hard to get money through visitors. So I only had a couple of people come and visit me while I was in Stray. One, no family, no Craig, no one, just a couple of people I knew, which I'll explain in a minute to you. So I could have money transferred to someone that Delroy knew outside, and then I could have it brought in to me in other ways, okay? But it wasn't drugs I wanted, it was the canteen. You know what I mean? The luxuries of the canteen. So I would get money sent to a friend of Delroy's, and Delroy would get me the big stuff of the canteen, because that's how it worked. Or stuff from outside that was brought in, things you couldn't buy in the canteen. Extra tobacco. I mean, you restricted what you can buy. So you'd have a couple of prison officers that would do things for him, whether it was through fear, I don't know. I never found him a intimidated person. I found him, pleasant. So anyway, we got talking quite well. I worked in the kitchen, and then I got a job in the officers' mess. So I could get things in through the officers' mess, which was no problem because you never really got searched right at the kitchen, and I looked after Delroy. So Delroy could get anything I wanted. So when I was released, I went to Manchester Police Station, and I was bailed pending further inquiries over another vehicle. So I stayed in the area. I think it's for about 4 months. I stayed in the area, and I got a job in a casino called Sergeant York's Casino. Now, the lady in charge, it was a London lass, so I got the job because I was London voice. Now, in the casino, I was only maintenance staff, so I'd repair tables, light bulbs, that sort of thing. The Chinese went a bit loopy on the blackjack table. Now, I made some friends in the casino, some lass friends and some lads. I play for the football team. Now, they come on here and they can clarify that they remember me from the casino. That's how they remember me. So I did go and visit Delroy a couple of times inside. I didn't take no gear into him because that's not my scene. I'm not going back for a long time. I don't mind a short sentence, but when it comes to long ones, don't appeal to me. So I made friends with Delroy. We got talking, and Delroy told me he can get what he wants. And I knew Craig was after a couple of automatic pistols. So I had a word with Delroy, and Delroy gave me a phone number to speak to someone else. I'm not going to give the name because I don't know comebacks from. So I met these two lads. Piccadilly Hotel in Manchester. As you go at the back of the Piccadilly Hotel, there's a bar downstairs. You go to some downstairs. So I met him in there. It's quite darkish. The light's not that bright in there. So I met him there. I was past a holdall. You don't buy these things. You rent them. You don't buy them. So it was £500 each, which was paid for. I got the bag, walked out of the bar with the bag, okay, and went back home with this bag. Now, I never looked in the bag. I don't know what was in the bag. All right, I'm covering myself here. So when I got back, I give the bag to my brother, and that was the last I've seen of this bag. Now, we can all put two and two together and work out what was in the bag, but I'm not going to say on here what was in the bag because I'm not going to get pulled in over it. But the bag went to there, okay? I went back to Manchester because I was still in that standing charge and I was doing court in, I think, a week's time. But in the casino, I told Craig about the casino, all right? And sometimes I would be asked to do security on the door. Now, not as a bouncer. We don't have bouncers on doors. Well, he didn't at Sergeant York's. What it was, you'd come through the first door and there'd be receptionists. You show your badge, your pass, whatever it is. Then I stand by the second door and press a button, lets them in. So that was it. And my duties were at night time, when everyone, early hours of the morning, when everyone left, was to take all the boxes out of all the tables where the money went in, and I'd take them upstairs to a room, and I'd lock 3 or 4 staff in this room, and they would sit in there with cameras watching them count the money. Then I'd walk downstairs and stay in the casino while they were counting. It took them a couple of hours doing it. They'd let me know by phone, they'd phone through to me, or I'd put them on camera when they'd finished, and they'd come down with the money, and it'd go straight in the safe, and the safe was locked. But at this time, the safe was always open because it was on a timer. So while I was upstairs, the safe was open. And I had access to all the keys. So you go past the cashier's desk, and the door's there, and the safe's there. And in the safe was money. And I mean money, not pennies, money. So I said to Craig, look, I've got a job in a casino for a minute until I sort this court case out. And I explained to him what happens, what do. And he was eager. The plan was I'd be on nights that were early hours of the morning, I see it saying nights, and there'd be a knock on the door, and there'd be a postman there at the main door with a parcel. Now, I'd open the door to let the man with the parcel in. Craig and someone else would come busting through the door, covered up with guns, straight in, take the cash, fuck off, take the tapes, bosh, give me a smack. That was it. That was the idea of it, okay? So we planned all this for the following week. And this is the truth. And I say, you can ask people that come on here and they can clarify this. We planned it for the following weekend to be done. I think it was Sunday. But on the Saturday night, I was invited to a party after work. Now, I wasn't doing security then. So I was invited to a late party around one of the lads' bungalows that worked there. So I had no drink. So I said to this lad, I don't think he liked me, to be honest with you. I said to this lad, I've got no drink to bring. He said, well, take a bottle from round the bar and buy one the next day and replace it. So I did. I took a bottle of whiskey. Now, anyone works in a bar, you know when they go up the optics, the bottles, the writing's the other way. So when the bottle's upside down like that. So I took this bottle to this party. It wasn't a big bottle of whiskey. Everyone was there enjoying themselves. I put the bottle on the side, and one of the lads said, where did you get that bottle from, Brian? I said, I got it from the casino. I replaced it tomorrow. I said, I did ask. He said, no problem. So when I went to work the next day, I was sacked for theft of a fucking bottle of whiskey. And that weekend was going to turn the casino over. So that's the truth. Like I say, there's people on here that I still keep in contact with can clarify that I got sacked for a bottle of whiskey and I was doing the security man's job every now and then when the actual main man come in sick. So that's one thing, and that's where the package come from Delroy. Right, we're going to talk about Jack. Oh, one more thing before we go. 1994, we're going to talk about the machine gun. Now, there's a lot of rumours where it come from and where Donna went and it was picked up. The machine gun come from Manchester again. Okay, Craig went and got it from Manchester. Donna didn't go with him. Craig went and got that from Manchester. I can guarantee you that. So where Donna's got that idea that it would come from, where it come from in Essex, it didn't, Donna. So someone in the police force put a little bit of pressure on you and you come up that story. Okay, that's fair enough. But we could go back to Kevin Whitaker, couldn't we, Donna? And we could turn around and say, you was in the house, Donna, when Kevin was killed. Well, that's a bit wrong saying that killed. He wasn't purposely killed. I know it don't change things. I know it don't solve things. And I'm still sorry for Kevin's mum and dad. I don't know if they're still here. Apparently he had a child. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? They drugged him the same way they drugged me to get information out of. Okay. And it went wrong. All right. And the cannabis that Kevin picked it up from Manchester, from people that we knew, that Delroy knew. Okay, that's what happened. Now, I don't know about how much went missing or if any went missing. That's nothing to do with me. I believe the full amount was sent down, and I think Craig took some to make out Kevin stole it. That's all I know. I don't know the real reason why they did it or what happened, but I know for a fact that Miss Jagger was in the house when it happened. Okay, she was scared. Mark, I'll get rid of the body. Okay, so tell you nothing about that. Now we're going to go back to Jack Bowler. When I first met Jack Bowler was back in the 80s. He come looking for me because that headmaster I told you about was arrested. My name come up as being abused. Jack wanted to come back, take a statement off me. He went to my mum's first. My mum told him where I was. He came to me and I denied it. All right. Why did I deny it after all those years of abuse? I denied it because I was a young man. I didn't want to be in the paper and I didn't want people knowing what I went through. So I didn't make the statement. I denied it ever happened to me. That's the truth. So that's how I got to know Jack. And I had a lot of respect for Jack because he talked to me like a man. He didn't come flash cocking this lot. Oh, you fucking abused me, just so fuck you. He can't speak me like a man, so I respected him. All right. And every time Jack nipped me, it was down to earth. It'd be straightforward. Look, Brian, we're going to charge you with this. Meet these two TIC. We're fucking Belgian, mate. Here, do you want some fags? Do you want a cup of tea or coffee? It was like that. It was down to the policeman, down to earth. Right. So this young lady I know, I'm going to say her last name. I'm not going to give her full name. Richardson. All right. Coincidence, isn't it? She knew some lads in London that could get pills. Okay. Even though Mark could get what he wanted, these lads had some good pills. So I went to London in my Peugeot. I went to this pub. I met him. I met him a couple of times. It wasn't just out of the blue. I met him a couple of times, but Richardson knew him fairly well. So there was a lot of trust there. He left the pub and 20 minutes later he came back a bag full of 1,000 pills given to me. They were one for me, they were for Craig. So I drove back to Basildon in my Peugeot. I pulled outside my flat, and when I pulled out, Jack Bowler was sitting there in an escort car with another officer. Okay, so I was grassed up. Now, I believed the reason I was grassed up is because they believed that I grassed Michael up. So it's like a revenge game, okay? I couldn't get out of it. I had him in the car. It wasn't hidden, all right? They was just sitting underneath the passenger seat. Jack knew that I had something, so I got arrested. I was sat in the back of the car. And I knew I was going to go away for a long time now. But we didn't go to the police station. We went to Basildon swimming bars. Now, if people know Basildon, it's a big huge swimming bars, and at the back's a car park. There's some fishing lakes. Okay, we drove there. We pulled in the car park. And we sat there for a bit. Okay. And Jack said to me, and his gospel, and I swear an oath to this, for the right price, we can make this go away. An expression to go, oh, well, it's an expression to go away, but that's what he said. So I knew he wanted money. So I offered him a £500 each. He just ignored me. So we all knew in those days a pill was worth 20, 25 quid. Don't get anyone says that was the going rate in those days. So I put my neck out and I said, the most I can go to is £700 each, and I'm losing money here. They started the car up and we started driving out swimming bars, and it's a big roundabout, okay, at the top, and you turn left like a one-way system. Police station the other side. We got to the top of the road. I said, hold on, I made a phone call. All right. So I made a phone call. To Mark Randall, and I explained to Mark what's gone on and what's the most I can go to. And Mark said £1,000. That's the limit. So I said to Jack, I'll give you £1,000 each. That's the most I can go to. So the engine was turned up, and Jack's worst was, how long will it take to get £1,000 to us each? And I said, give me an hour and I'll have it. So they took me back to the flat. Jack kept the pills. Mark turned up with £2,000 that Craig gave him. Jack Bowler come back. I phoned him. He come back. He gave me the pills. I gave him £1,000 each. That's how Jack become a part of us. Okay. People can turn and say, well, we don't believe in that. I've nothing to hide. Why would I want to mention a name of an officer that's still around and say these sort of things if I was lying? So, end of the day, we give him £1,000 each. So, we didn't have Jack under our thumb. That's far from it. All right. Jack Bowler was his own person. He'd make his rules. We didn't make rules for him. Okay. It was his rules. And he didn't come to us every time we're up to something for something. When something was going down big, we asked Jack if there was anything coming on top of us, if we'd done something wrong. And he would let us know. Brian, watch yourself, you're being watched. Brian, watch yourself, being watched. This is how I knew the Essex Trust Squad were watching me, because Jack told me. Now, for that information, I'll give him 200 quid. To me, 200 quid's nothing with that information. People can say Jack was corrupt. He wasn't the only officer, and he'll never ever be the only officer that took a backhander. There's loads out there. Back in the 80s and 90s, Basildon Police Station, there was more corrupt police officers there than there was normal officers. And I'll tell you that now. If an officer could make a bit of extra income on their wages and they knew one going to get caught, they would. And if an officer was into a bit of gear and you had the gear and they'd come and see you for it, they would. If an MP from Southend was into a bit of gear, we'd give him a bit of gear. See, we dealt with some big people. We wasn't big people ourselves. We wanted to be millionaires. Craig did. I was happy getting £5,000 every car I got. That was my life. I was happy. You know what I mean? And I still had work. So I had a lovely income every single, I wouldn't say every week, because I never got a car every week. So say roughly I got a car every month, 2 months. So I always was happy. I had a lovely place. I was even given a house by the council, and I actually rented it out, but I didn't charge them anything. I'll give it to a friend of mine, Sam's sister. And then she asked me one day and said, look, can I have the house? So I give it to her. No, as far as I know, she brought it. So I was never short of money. I was never short of nice cars. So that's about the bag from Manchester, where the stuff comes from. and where Whitaker got his stuff from, and Jack. So I say, I wish you all happy Christmas. And I really mean that. And hopefully next year, we're going to get to the truth. Bernard's going to come unstuck. All right? He's going to dig his own grave a week he's coming out with and all these threats. You can't do it. If someone's got an opinion, take it on the chin. You can argue it. But when you start threatening people, I mean, a young lass, a bar lady, she probably knows everyone in that bar. You got Carlton coming out and saying that when the poor lass died, Bernard got a pill. You could say, where did Bernard get the pills from? I know where he got them from. Carlton's not stupid. Other people are not stupid. But you got to be careful what you say. But it is going to come out. But Carlton, you're just a sick bloke to keep coming out with the fucking shit you do. And John, I've lost respect for you. You're probably trying to say, I'm not bothered. I don't like you. I don't care about you. But like I said, I've done the letter. It's gone. And I hope it does well. And I hope it gets Mickey out. Anyway, everyone, have a nice Christmas.